We are back in the woods, ladies and gents. I was about to say we're in darkest Suffolk, but of course, clearly we're not in Ipswich. Anyway, on the way here this morning, the car said it was -7 degrees. Fortunately, we are made of stern stuff on this channel, and we stopped off for a sausage sandwich at the garage on the way here. So now we're fueled up, we should be good to go. We're shooting on the Z8. How can I turn it so that you can see it in focus? Shooting on the Z8 again, and yeah, we're going to find some good stuff despite the cold. So let's crack on and see what we can find. Right, the first shot, ladies and gents, is this leaf here. I don't know how well you can fold it in front of my eyes. You might better see it there. I'll show you a better shot of it now. You can see it's got some beautiful holes in it, and I think it's going to make a good shot. I'm going to try and dream up some way of pegging it to a branch or something. Don't know how that's going to work, but find out in a minute. So I'm going to set that up now. Right, we're set up on this beautiful leaf, ladies and gents. It's a sort of abstract thing, really. It's just kind of hoving in from the bottom left-hand corner here. We've got a bit of space at the top here, a bit of space on the right-hand side. We can sort of crop slightly there in post-production if we want to. You can see from the 360 camera that we've got two LED lights, one on the left there, one on the right. They're both behind the leaf and they're pointing back towards it. And they're providing this kind of clip light around the edge, and they're lighting through the leaf as well to give this translucence. If I just flick those off and then back on a couple of times, you can see they're giving this sort of glow through here and highlighting these leaves, these little hairs, I should say, around the edge of the holes. You can see that I've got them attached to this branch using these little bendy tripods. You can see the leaf itself is attached. I've got a peg here that I've just tied to the branch with a bit of string, because what self-respecting chap doesn't have a bit of string in his pocket at all times? The leaf is clipped to the peg just here. You can see it clipped by the peg. And that's the setup, basically. So, yeah, we're going to stack it. We're going to shoot at f8 to help avoid artifacts and any sort of undesirable funny business going on around the edges. We're shooting at ISO 64, best quality on this camera, 13th of a second. There's no subject movement to speak of that we need to be concerned about, so that's fine. The meter says we're underexposed by just over a stop, but I think that's okay because we've sort of got predominantly dark areas here, and in the background we're interested in picking out all of these little amazing details around the edges. So I'm happy with that exposure. So what else can I say about this? Not a lot, I don't think. We're going to stack it. We're going to focus here. I'm just going to check the focus with the autofocus there. Check that. Then I'm going to turn the focus ring to make sure that everything is going to be in focus in the stack. So I've drawn the focus towards me. You can see there's a bit of sharpness still down here. So I'm going to draw the focus towards me just a bit more, just to make sure we don't miss any of those bits. That's the purpose of drawing the focus towards me, really, just to catch any bits that I may have missed originally. So I think we're good to go on that. We're going to shoot a stack. We're going to go 150 shots just to make sure we cover the entire thing. And I'm going to shoot that now. Right, looking at the final shot in the stack, we're well past everything on the subject that we might want, so that should stack nicely, and if it does, here's the shot. Straightening my glasses first. Taking the spider webs off my face. Right, that shot is done, ladies and gents. It was a bit of a fiddle to set up, tying the peg to the branch and stuff, but I think we got there in the end. So I'm now going to have a spot of lunch, and then I'm going to crack on, find another shot. Right, the next shot, ladies and gents, is this little black acorn thing. Sort of, it's stuck to a twig upside down. I don't know how that's happened, but it's got lots of nice little knobbly bits that I think will look interesting once they've got some light on. So I've placed it just on a bit of moss to give a nice green background, and I'm going to set that up and see how it looks. Right, we're set up on this shot, ladies and gents. I think this looks like a sort of head. There's a bug walking across it there. I think this looks like a head with a cap and shoulders, and it looks like a chap sort of, I don't know, easing himself up out of the moss. Or is he digging himself down into the moss? Who knows? Anyway, you can see from possibly the overhead shot, you can see we've got an LED on the left-hand side, which is pointing pretty much behind the subject like this. And what that's doing is just giving this little catch light here. It's that bug again. It's giving this little catch light here without throwing too much light on here. You can see we've got this LED on the right-hand side, which is slightly warmer in colour. That's 4400K. I just sort of twiddled the colour of that until I liked the look of it. So it's not too warm. And that is providing the light down here and this sort of warmer light here. So the left-hand light is picking out some of the detail there. The right-hand light is picking out some of the detail there. And they're both lighting all of this beautiful moss here. So if I switch both of those off, you can see how dark it is. It's very dark down here. Just switch them on and off a couple of times. You can see the difference that makes. And if I just turn the left-hand light on, you can see the light it's just providing here. It is actually throwing some light over here as well, but it's mostly doing this side. So if I turn that one off, and then just turn on the right-hand light, you can see this sort of warm glow almost down here. Some light here. If I just flick that on and off a couple of times, you can see how it's also providing some light over here. So if I now switch both lights back on, then you can see the full effect. And then I'll just switch them both on and off a couple of times just again to show the full effect there. So we're shooting at ISO 64, best quality, f8. I think that's absolutely fine. We're not going to get anything in focus in the background here, so that's good, and it's a nice sort of optical quality, and it'll help avoid any stacking problems. 1/5 of a second, it's absolutely fine because there's no subject movement. The meter is almost spot on actually, so that's okay. Looking at the histogram, you can see we've got a bit of space on the right, so we know we're not clipping anything. We've got a tiny space on the left, so we know we're not losing detail in the dark areas here. This big sort of tall area here in the darker end, that's caused by all of this. So quite happy with that histogram, that's a good exposure. So I'm going to stack it. Just need to swap my stick into the other hand. So we're going to focus just here, which is, it's the nearest point of the sort of head, if you like. This point down here is slightly closer. So I'm going to cope with that in the stack, but we focus there initially. I'm going to draw the focus towards me just to make sure everything, including this bit of stick in the bottom right here, is going to be fully covered in the stack. I'll just go a little bit closer. That's it. We're going to shoot a stack. We're going to shoot 150 images, not because I think we need them, but because that's what the camera is set on from last time. So rather than fiddle about, we're just going to shoot it. So looking at the final shot in the stack, you can see we're well past the subject. We're well past this sort of far corner of the stick, or this little chap's shoulders, if you like. And if that stack's okay, here it is now. Right, that shot is done, ladies and gents. It is absolutely flipping freezing and I'm out of coffee and other sustenance. So I will see you next time. Cheers.